Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Hope everybody had a great start of the week. Everybody doing good. So all right guys, another day, another fun day in the market. Was pretty straightforward. We were bearish from the morning and we stayed bearish all day. There was no long in the market and most of our setups worked. We wrapped up the day pretty early. But there's a lot to learn. If you struggle today, struggle today again in this red market, you need to short the market. You need to buy the puts, right? You need to trade leverage ETFs. So we'll discuss all that, see how the traders, were successful in a day like today in the community, trading or repeatable setups. Let's start. Let's do a quick introduction to anybody who's new to my teachings, who's new to my our Twitter accounts or YouTube, or new to our community. We trade a repeatable trading system. We trade a repeatable trading system in the stock market, which is called Ripster EMA cloud system. Thousands of traders trade this. Thousands of traders trade this system across the world. We trade this repeatable system, and we trade repeatable setups. A system is how you trade. Setups is what you trade. The setups are derived from the system only in our particular case. So every morning, me and my team, we make a game plan for the day. We make the game plan, which includes the earning news, which includes upgrades, downgrades, any other kind of news plays. Then we make an initial plan. We get a support level, resistance level. And then we make a pre-market plan, how we are going to trade that. I make this plan live in the pre-market 30 minutes before the market open so that traders can, trade that. I usually highlight the main setups, which are my main focus. I usually highlight them in the red so the traders know what to focus on, what to pick on, right? So this is our main news game plan for the day. Then we also share in the community something called day 2, day 3 setup. Day 2, day 3 is a repeatable strategy that is very consistent, especially in the earnings season. I built this strategy to, because, I'm not going to spend too much time, but I built this strategy to help find these setups which didn't have the news today, but they had news yesterday, day before yesterday, or they had some big kind of move. This was a huge winners today for us, Costco, UNH, Lilly. We will discuss all this in our recap. Learn this strategy, pretty stress-free strategy. I give this plan in the pre-market alone, so traders can, focus on their setups and they can trade. In addition to that, we also share crypto stock levels that traders can trade using Ripster EMA clouds. We share these levels in the pre-market. You can pause the screen and see how to play this. On a trending day, the levels work pretty nicely. But if the traders don't want to focus on the news plays. We also trade futures in the market. For example, ES and NASDAQ futures were short all day in the community based upon my guidance of SPY, QQQ, and SPX. You can trade them as well. We do have a futures channel in the community where the traders trade those futures in the community. In addition to that, we also provide the daily levels for SPY, QQQ, IWM, WIX, all the index stocks and ETFs, so the traders can trade those as well. We'll talk about it in detail when we go there. So I'm usually on a voice first few hours of the market open. I'm on the voice. Thousands of traders are in the community. They are trading. We are ready with our initial game plan. I'm on the voice telling the traders what to do. Are we going to go long on the market? Are we going to go short? What are the setups they should trade? What should they long? What should they short? And giving the guidance to the traders, making sure they make the right decision. And of course, and also talking about the psychology and the mindset when we are trading, trying to help each other to make right decisions. I'm usually on the voice first few hours, and then I'm around on my alerts feed guiding the traders about the trades all day. We do have a number of tools in the community. We have 3 or 4 option scanners. We have stock scanners, breaking news alert, voice news alert, support and resistance tools, holds, unholds. We have bookmap. We have over the tools which are free to use, over $500-600 a month, which are free for traders to come and use in the community. It is a one-stop shop. We're number one educational trading community, one of the biggest trading communities out there. We focus on the education repeatable system and setups. All day, the thousands of traders are on our trading floor, sharing ideas, trying to help each other in the community to make money in the stock market, at the same time making sure we lose less and we win big. All right, so that was a little longer introduction. Let's start with today's all right, so let's start with our SPY QQQs, ES futures or leverage ETFs, whatever you can trade that. So let's talk about SPY QQQ. So what was the plan on the SPY QQQ? Our pre-market plan was VIX is at MTF. We use our VIX strategy every day, especially in this volatile environments. We need to use our VIX strategy, life-changing strategy. Only long if VIX breaks 32. It goes under 32, then we long the market. Otherwise, we have a bearish bias. Watch the pre-market lows. That means we short more under that. 10 a.m. concept, amateur move. The same concepts, guys, I repeat every day. So make sure, so that traders know that, we are doing nothing different. We are doing the same exact thing day in and day out. So let's go here. Let's see what was my guidance here in the community on SPY QQQ and ESV. All this guidance is, on this guidance, you can trade puts. You can trade ETFs, you can trade light leverage ETFs, or you can trade. So basically, we're trying to make money in the stock market when the stock market is going down. That's what we're trying to do if you're completely new to trading and investing. So you can, stock market index is made of the biggest stocks in the market, S&P, 500 biggest stocks, QQQ top 100 stocks in the NASDAQ, but at the end of the day, they are made of these 10 or 12 top stocks, which you can, or Dow Jones has different list of stocks. You can trade those individual stocks as well, which we will recap here, right? So we're trying to make the money with the market going down. That's what we are trying to do here. And a Ripster EMA cloud system, if you don't know about it, go to ripstereducation.com, read about it, how the system works. So anyways, when we started the market in the morning, we had a little bit 512 calls. QQQ was a little stronger. You see that it's trying to push over right over that area. So QQQ was a little stronger. SPY was weaker right out of the gate. Let me see. I'm going to open SPY here, make it a little more clear for you guys. So you see that, SPY was a little weaker. So, but then we saw the VIX bounce. Here's the VIX. Let's see here. You see the VIX right here. What was it? Monday. Yeah, right at the open. VIX started to push, right? So you see that VIX started to push right out of the gate, 3450s, VIX started to push. And that's the short. All right. So then it was confirmed bearish because 32 VIX is pushing high. You take a short right there, buy a put option, or you can use short SPY QQQ, or buy SQQQ leverage ETF, which ran from $40 to $42. So you can do whatever you really want here, but it's a confirmed short. Your stops are right here at the opening price over that candle. If you don't want to short it right at the open, you short it at 10 a.m., right? The 10 a.m. concept. So anyways, this was my repeatable guidance. So bearish, right? I did tweet about as well. SPY QQ bearish start of the day. VIX, there's no bullishness there. Everything is a short. Under pre-market lows, we go lower, right? So under pre-market lows, we go lower. So that was the plan. And that was the plan, and that plan was perfectly executed, right? So VIX started to push higher, and we started to short the market. I told everybody, if we break pre-market lows, we get paid. Trade the leverage ETFs. If you were trading NASDAQ futures, the levels I already gave to you in the pre-market, even then you just had to, sell short the NASDAQ futures, and you literally. So you literally made like, 1,000 points there on NASDAQ futures. So anyways, I'm just trying to show you that there's many different ways to make money on the in the market when we are doing it. And that's our community is one of the most consistent, successful community because our system is so good. When we have trend day, we really make good money. And I tell everybody to hide their P&Ls. I strictly told everybody, hide your P&Ls, right? So SPY, if you see put flushed, you cover here, then it's a bear flag. There's no reason to close it. Bear flag, flush, right? Yeah, and it tried to push. We close our shorts, but it's not a call. It's a reject. You see, it's a 512 reject. Again, 512 shorts, right? As long as reject, you short it, right? So where puts went 100%, everything was flushing, everything was short, right? And let's look here. And then VIX at 147. Then what happened was again at this, we had that, 512 rejects on that and on that VIX. SPY. and then it was a short all day long. And we finally got this third time there was a call at 512s. You see that this was a call at 512s. It failed to call, rejection, and then finally the call came in the power hour. Why was that? Power hour is usually more volume, so you could play the call. I did give the traders, even if you lose on these calls, that's fine. It's a small loss, but you cannot have a huge loss because this was never a call, right? The candle never really pushed. You need to look at VIX. You need to look at the Max 7, what the market is doing. Always look at, I tell you to look at the market breadth. You look at the breadth, right? I did a complete webinar. Watch that webinar on analyzing the market. So 80% of stocks were declining. So there's no reason to be long on a day like that. So that's why we were short on the SPY QQQ all day long. There was no reason to go long. There was this 512 curl that came in end of the day. You could make a little bit money here, long here. It stops under 429, risk 70-80 cents, and you make $2-3, or you make 100% on the lot or trades, right? So all with the system. So the shorts were right at the open, midday bear flag shorts, 512 reject shorts. There, but the traders try to trade, very bad entries. There was only A plus entry, B plus entry, B plus entry, 3 short entries. If you lose on 512, that's fine. The final B plus 512s was this call. 512 is mostly a C minus trade because remember, inherently, overall, we are still in a big bearish trend. You see that big bearish trend. So those small curls are C minus, B minus. Overall, we are bearish. We are under MTF clouds. Look what market did since it broke the MTFs, right? So see the power of the MTFs, and just look at the 1 hour MTF rejection, right? 1 hour MTF rejection, 1 hour MTF rejection. And when something comes under the 1 hour, guys, it's a completely bearish. You can swing short trade as well, but we are a news-based environment right now. So anyways, so that was SPY QQQ. Hopefully you learned a few things there as well. A beautiful day in the community. Everybody nailed it. Huge winners. Literally great start of the week, being going short on the market. All right, so next one we're going to look at is Tesla. So let's see what was the plan on Tesla today for us. I'm going to go a little fast through this. So Tesla, Barclays got Tesla price target. So bearish news, check, right? Report of delay in US production. Another bearish news, check. So what was the plan? The plan was bearish buys to short the pop, cautious of the 512, especially if the market is bullish. But guess what? Market was never bullish. So guess what? It becomes an A plus short. So Tesla, right at the open, I told the traders it's not a long, it's a short. Right away I told the traders, and just like the plan I gave, look at the plan I gave to bearish buys to short it. You see this rejection, big candles, you right away you short it. You take a short and it confirms the short once we break the pre-market lows. You hold it. It bouncing at the 10 a.m. no problem at all. Your stops should be around here. Bear flag breakdown at 10 a.m. The first target I gave was 227, which we met right like in first 10 minutes. Second targets was 225, and then 2 final targets were 224 and 222. We hit 225, we hit 224 before we tried a failed bounce where we covered our shorts, but we never really hit our 222 target. But regardless, it was a nice trade on the options, which 100%, even if you risked couple $100 here, you made $1,000. So if you risk $1,000, 1,000 shares at 229, you still made 4 or 5 grand. You just need to be patient, let the system play out, not just take 50 cents profits, right? So that's how you will make money. So anyways, that was a Tesla short. Let's go to the next one. All right, so next one we're going to look at is NVIDIA. So let's see what the NVIDIA was. So NVIDIA was same thing, guys. Let's go to the pre-market planning. What was our pre-market planning on NVIDIA? NVIDIA, so bad news, right? You have to focus. What has bad news? Bad news, check. Bearish news, check. It makes the stock bad news, stock bearish, market bearish. Optionally, if there's put flow, check. It's an A plus short, right? So anyways, this was support, this was resistance for NVIDIA. I said it might see the 512 bounce at first, but overall bearish bias unless the pre-market lows hold. So guess what? Same rejection of 3450, and at the same time market was tanking. You see this rejection that tells you it's going to be bearish because right from the Ripster 3450 clouds, and then you buy the puts right here and you put your stops over here, or you can buy the puts at 10 a.m. and take it all the way down. And I did give a stops of 97.50 once we flushed here on NVIDIA. And you can see that it was all day fade on NVIDIA from 98 all the way to 95. Another winner for the community. No BS, no hindsight. The guidance was given. This was more on the voice. I didn't type too much there, but you can see that we nailed this setup as well. All right. So next one we're going to look at is Microsoft. Let's see what was the plan on Microsoft. So Microsoft was another one. So Citibank lowered the price target on Microsoft. Citi is a tier 1 analyst. Whenever the Citibank says something, it happens, right? So bad news, downgrade check, chart bearish, market bearish, right? So what does it make it? What does it make it? It makes it an A+ short. Check. You have to make those checks and you have to take the decision which the stocks you want to choose, right? So that's why I told the traders right away that Microsoft is a short. Right at the open, short it, and you can see that from 364 it now really curled. It went all the way to 355s. You could easily risk $500 and make $2,000 or more there on Microsoft. The key is here that bearish news, bad news, bearish market, check gives you a great shorts. So that was Microsoft. Let's look at the next ones. So the next one we're going to cover is Amazon. So same thing, market was bearish, so Amazon was short, and the other one was Google. So let's see what was the plan on those two. So Google had a news, mixed decision, right? Bearish bias. Amazon had a news, but Amazon had a bullish profit target increase. But guess what? I still had a bearish bias because Amazon was gapping down, and Amazon was gapping down, and not only that, market was heavy. So you can see, you can ask me, hey Rip, it was an upgrade, why was your bearish bias? Because Amazon was under the clouds. There was no reason to have bullish bias even though we had an upgrade, right? So we were gapping down, market is so heavy, and you can see that all we did was short, right? Amazon short, and then we were Google short. So everything was short there. There was nothing wrong in the market there today in the community, right? So it's self-explanatory. I don't need to go there. You literally buy the puts. You made 100%. You bought $1,000. You made $200, $3,000, whatever, right? So it's right in front of you guys. There's no rocket science. We have a system. For us, it might look too easy to you, but we know that's our system. And our system is flawless. There is no other trading system out there. If you think the system can help others, tell others about this system. Thousands of traders are using, but 1,000 more can use this system. And you can make consistent money in the stock market using our trading system. Let's go to the next one. All right, so let's talk to the next one. Next one was Netflix. Netflix was actually, it was a loser. Let's call it a loser because, it was a great setup to trade versus the $1,000, 1K long right at the open. I told the traders right at the open to long it. And the plan in the pre-market on Netflix was no longer than 34.50, one key level to long, right? So we will long over 1,000. So as soon as it pushed over 1,000, we tried to long it, but then, 1,020 was breakout because it was a pre-market high. And you see that exactly from 1,020, it pulled back. So it pulled back right from the 1,020 level, and then it pulled back. Then we put our stops at 990. 990 was our stops. It bounced again from that, pushed over the 1,000, and then I told traders to move your stops up 995, because if it's not going to hold that bounce, it's going to come all the way back. Other problem was market was heavy. When market is heavy, the bullish setups are not going to work. More bullish, more breakouts fail, and more bullish trends fail. So remember that in a bearish market, the breakouts will fail. So that's why I told the traders stop out, and you can short it versus thousands. So long was a loser. Some traders did take it a short versus 1,000. You can see the short idea, and then it flushed to 975. You could make some money on the downside, but overall, it was kind of a waste of time. Other setups were much better on Netflix. All right, so let's go to the next one. All right, so next look at the two of the news plays. So Capital One acquired Discover Financial. So that was the news, right? COF, right? So we had a bullish bias on the Capital One, but if the 512 breaks, we were going to short it. Neutral bias on Discover Financial. So what happens is when somebody buys someone, they're using their equity, it's kind of dilution for the shareholders. It puts the pressure on that stock. So if it starts to sell, you short it. So that's why Capital One, hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, so Capital One was buying Discover. So Capital One faded for that reason. And now Discover faded for the reason because I think the buy price, the buyout stock price is not clear. Whatever I studied in the morning sounded like Discover was, still trading over the higher price than where it's going to be bought out at. And not only that, even if it's around that price, sometimes until the deal is actually finalized, the stock can still give up the gains. Everybody can still take the profits. So, we just follow the system. So that was what, the Capital One, as soon as break 512, you short it. The Discover Financial, as soon as it broke the 512, you short it. It's a gap and crap, right? So I told the traders that both are the opening fades. I think RGB was on top of it. Full gap and crap, right? You got the full gap and crap on COF DFS, and you can see the guidance. We were so busy with other trades, we didn't really need to focus here on too much, but these were kind of pretty easy setups, right? You prepare in the pre-market, right? This is what you do. These are the opportunity that market gives you, because when you prepare in the pre-market, that's when you can have those trades that you can make money on, right? Those are DFS and like Capital One and Discover Financial. So anyways, that's the guidance I had, and that was the pre-market plan. Let's go to the next. All right, so now we're going to look at our day 2, day 3 setups, our day 2, day 3 strategy, pretty strong strategy. Costco, what was it? So Costco I gave as my number 1 day 2, day 3 setup. 1000 is a key level, support at 980, 985 support, resistance 995. We use our Ripster EMA clouds to short it, right? So once I saw that 1000 is rejecting, I told the traders it's not a long, it's a day to short. Then it started to bounce a little bit. It was not making a new low. I told the traders that use the stops of 992 or be a little bit careful if we push over 992. So luckily we did not push over 992, and then it broke the bear flag. It flushed, and at 1055, even at 1055, I told traders that it's looking pretty heavy. Okay to hold it. Okay to hold it. And from there on, the Costco went on to flush another 20 points. You see, even if you had 100 shares, you risked $500, you made $5,000 on this trade just with 100 shares, right? If you don't have 100 shares, if you have 50 shares, right, you risk 250, you made, you just risk 250, you can still make, if you fade 40 points, you can still make $200,000 on 250 on those shares as well. So it's all about the range, how long you can hold. All you have to do is hold with Ripster 512 clouds. Anyways, pre-market guidance, live guidance, no hindsight, no BS. MTF breaks here, makes it more bearish. Beautiful trade, 1000 concept, very important concept. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to look at United Health, UNH, our number 2 day 2 setup. Number 2 day 2 setup. Why was that? It was an earning play. I keep telling you, you need to focus on the earning plays, because these earning plays will give you trades, not only the day 1, but the day 2. This is my strategy. Nobody would ever teach you this strategy. And I have spent so much time and experience with these setups. That's why I teach you guys these setups. This is where you can grow crazy account and crazy profits with these setups. Anyways, right at the open, I told everybody day 2 short. First target was 435. Second target was 430. We met both our target, 425, 430. It tried to curl back on us. We covered. Then it failed, right? Then it failed. When it failed, we could re-hit the short right here. I missed it, but you can see that you can short it again. Again, home run trade, right? Home run. Even if, yes, options are expensive, but you do not need too many, right? You just need a little bit. Let's say you had a 440 puts for this week, right? So those went from, let's see here. They're illiquid, no doubt they're illiquid. So those went from $12 to $25, right? You just need one, $1,200 turned to $2,500, right? Same for Costco. So these were the day two setups, guys. Just as you see there, my number 2 day two setup repeatable strategy, guys. Let's take a look at one more. Those were the top 2 ones. Let's look at Lily. So there was Lily. So Lily was also day two short. 821.84, 858, MTS short below, short under 34.50, take it all the way down to the MTF clouds, from 34.50 to the MTF clouds, right? So that was Lily, day two short winner, power of the MTF clouds with the day two setups. That's why you have to watch these 2 webinars. If you don't have if you can't watch thousands of recaps, then yes, join the community, watch the webinars. They will teach you, right? So let's look at one more here. Let's look at American Express. American Express also had earnings. So in earnings season, you have to focus on these day 2, day 3 setups, right? I teach it again and again and again. So American Express was also another day 2 fade. You can see that faded all day long. Another one that I gave on my day 2, day 3 strategy. The reason I repeat it again and again and again, guys, so that you guys start to trade these repeatable setups, right? So that was American Express, right? So let's see here. So that was it for today, guys. Hopefully you can learn these setups. It's earnings season, very hot market, volatile market. Don't always worry about going to bull buys. Try to trade both sides. Make money in the markets, keep the losers small, winners big. Thank you. Easter sale is going on. If you still want to come join the community, come for the guidance and the tools. Do not come for the alerts. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.